Have you ever noticed yourself doing something, almost before you have decided? Reaching for a phone. Opening the same app. Making tea in the same sequence of small steps. It can feel automatic. And in a quiet way, that is exactly the point. Welcome to Curious Nights. Tonight's sleepy documentary is the psychology of habit. A quiet, practical guide. Not a life overhaul. Just a calm look at how habits form, why they stick, and how they can gently change. Our setting is a quiet workshop, late at night. The lights are warm and low. On the bench are simple tools. A wooden box of pencils. A small notebook. And the soft comfort of repeated motions. You do not need to take notes. You do not need to remember. If you drift off, that is perfect. The guide will still be here, quietly, in the background. To understand habit, it helps to start with kindness. Habits are not proof of laziness. They are not a personal flaw. They are a strategy the brain uses to save energy. A way of making life smoother. In the workshop, you can see why repetition exists. If you sand a piece of wood, you do not reinvent the motion each time. Your hands learn the pattern. Your attention relaxes. And the work becomes quieter. The brain does something similar. When an action repeats in a stable situation, the brain starts to chunk the sequence together. Less like a list of separate choices. More like a single routine. This can free attention for other things. Or it can simply reduce effort. A habit is often described as a behavior that becomes automatic in response to a cue. Something happens, and the brain learns, this is what we do next. Sometimes the cue is obvious. A notification sound. A coffee smell. The moment you sit in a particular chair. Sometimes the cue is quieter. A feeling. A little boredom. A vague restlessness. A sense of needing a small reward. The cue does not have to be dramatic to be powerful. And here is the practical part. If habits are learned responses to cues, then changing a habit often begins with noticing the cue. Not fighting yourself. Not forcing willpower in the dark. Just turning on a small light of awareness. In the workshop, there is a gentle principle. If a tool keeps slipping, you do not blame the wood. You adjust the grip. You change the angle. You improve the setup. Habit change can be like that. Often it is less about pushing harder and more about shaping the situation. So tonight, we will hold 5 calm ideas. Habits save energy. Habits follow cues. Habits are reinforced by rewards. Habits can be redesigned through the environment. And habits change best with gentleness, not pressure. Now we can step closer to the habit loop. A simple way to describe how habits keep running. It often goes like this: cue, craving, response, reward. The cue is the trigger. The craving is the pull toward a change in state. The response is what you do. And the reward is what teaches the brain, this was worth repeating. The reward might be pleasure, or relief, or comfort. In the workshop, reward can be very simple. A smooth edge on a piece of wood. A pencil line that finally looks straight. A drawer that slides without sticking. That tiny satisfaction is real. It is feedback. In daily life, rewards can be even subtler. A moment of novelty. A quick feeling of connection. A brief escape from discomfort. Many habits are not about gaining something big. They are about shifting feelings, just slightly. This is why willpower can feel unreliable. Willpower is effort. Habits are efficiency. When you are tired, stressed, or overstimulated, the brain often prefers the efficient path. It reaches for the well-worn groove. A practical, quiet skill is to name the cue without judging it. For example, I notice I am in the kitchen. I notice it is late. I notice I am a little restless. That is all. Just noticing. Another gentle skill is to separate the craving from the response. The craving is not wrong. It may be asking for rest, or stimulation, or comfort. The response is simply one way you have learned to answer that request. And sometimes, another response can answer it too. In a moment, we will talk about redesign. Not self-control as a battle, but habit design as a quiet craft. Like arranging tools on a bench so the work becomes easier. Like making the good path the natural path. Now we come to the most practical part. How habits can be shaped, gently, by design. Not by becoming a different person overnight, but by changing what is easy to do, and what is hard to do. One helpful framework uses 4 quiet levers. Make a habit obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. And make it satisfying. Each lever is small. Together, they change the feel of daily life. Obvious often means visible. In the workshop, the tools you use most are placed where your hand naturally reaches. You do not hide the screwdriver in a distant drawer. You place it where it belongs. Habits can respond to the same quiet logic. Attractive often means paired with something pleasant. The brain learns faster when it feels a small reward. Sometimes the reward is immediate. A warm drink. A comfortable chair. A favorite pen. Not as a bribe. More like making the moment kind. Easy is often the most underestimated lever. When a habit feels heavy, the brain delays it. So one gentle idea is to make the starting step very small. almost too small to resist. A 2-minute beginning. Not the full task, just the doorway into it. Satisfying means the brain gets a signal that the habit mattered. Sometimes that signal is internal. A calm breath, a clean surface, a sense of completion. Sometimes it is external. A small mark on a calendar. A simple log that says, I showed up. Another tool is a quiet plan. Not a grand plan. Just a sentence that tells your future self what happens when the cue appears. For example, when I finish dinner, I make a cup of tea. When I brush my teeth, I dim the lights. When I sit at the desk, I open the notebook. This kind of planning can be calm because it reduces decision points. The brain does not have to negotiate in the moment. The decision has already been made in a quiet hour. It becomes part of the setup, like placing a tool where it belongs before you begin. Now we can talk about the habits that feel unwanted. The ones that arrive when you are tired, or stressed, or looking for comfort. This is not a place for shame. It is a place for understanding. A gentle approach is to use the same 4 levers, but in reverse. Make the habit less obvious, less attractive, harder, and less satisfying. Not by punishment, but by quiet friction. In the workshop, you protect the work by changing the environment. You put sharp tools away when you are done. You cover the surface. You turn off the noisy machine. You do not rely on constant vigilance. You rely on a safe setup. For many habits, the environment is the strongest voice. What is within reach becomes what happens. What is visible becomes what is remembered. And what is frictionless becomes what repeats. So small changes in layout can have surprisingly large effects over time. There is also a calm truth that helps many people. Habits often become louder when you are depleted. When sleep is low. When the day has been demanding. When emotions need comfort. In those moments, the brain reaches for the fastest relief it knows. This is why self-compassion is practical. It keeps you in the craft. If a routine breaks for a day, the goal is not to punish yourself for breaking it. The goal is to return, gently, to the next small repetition. In the workshop, you do not throw away a project because one cut was imperfect. You sand the edge. And you continue. There is one more quiet lever that matters. Identity. Not as a label you force. More as a direction you practice. Each repetition is a small vote for a kind of person you are becoming. And that can feel steady. Not dramatic. Just steady. So habit change is not only about stopping. It is also about replacing. Keeping the cue, if it is unavoidable. Keeping the need, if it is human. and choosing a response that serves you more gently. Like choosing a different tool for the same task. Now we can gather the guide into a few quiet ideas. Nothing to memorize. Just a soft recap. First, habits are a form of efficiency. The brain builds routines to save effort. Automatic does not mean broken. It means learned. Second, habits often follow a loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Noticing the cue is often the first gentle step toward change. Third, rewards teach repetition. Sometimes the reward is pleasure. Sometimes it is relief. Often it is simply a shift in how you feel. Fourth, environment design is powerful. Making a habit obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying can help it settle in. And reversing those levers can help an unwanted habit fade. Fifth, consistency grows best with gentleness. Small beginnings matter. Returning matters. And each repetition is a quiet vote for the direction you want to keep. Steady is enough. And now, we let the workshop become even quieter. The tools rest where they belong. The bench is clear. The light is warm and low. Nothing needs fixing tonight. Habits are just grooves. Paths the mind has walked many times. And paths can be softened or gently redirected. One small repetition at a time. If any thoughts appear, they can be treated like sawdust. Light. Temporary. Easy to let settle. No need to hold them. The night does not ask for productivity. Only rest. Only stillness. Only the quiet comfort of being here. This has been Curious Nights. The Psychology of Habit. A quiet, practical guide. And now, you can let the day end softly. At night, sleep can feel like something you should be able to do naturally. And yet, sometimes the mind is ready, but the body is not. You lie there, comfortable enough, and still restless. Often, the missing detail is not willpower. It is not the perfect pillow. It is something simpler. Temperature. Tonight on Curious Nights, the calm science of temperature. Why cool rooms help sleep. Our setting is a quiet bedroom at the end of the day. Dim light. Still air. And a body that wants the night to gently take over. When we talk about temperature for sleep, it helps to separate two ideas. Your environment and your body. The room has a temperature. Your skin has a temperature. And deeper inside, your core temperature is carefully regulated. Your body is always balancing heat production and heat loss. That balancing is not only about comfort. It is part of how the brain decides what state you are in: alert, active, or ready to sleep. Think of it like lighting in a room. Bright light tells you, stay awake. Dim light tells you, it is safe to wind down. Temperature can work in a similar way. Not perfectly, but reliably enough to matter. And this is why a cool room can feel like permission. A small environmental cue that supports what your biology is already trying to do. Shift into night mode. Your body runs on a daily rhythm. Hormones, alertness, digestion, and temperature all change across the day. And in most people, core body temperature gradually drops at night. This drop is not huge, but it is meaningful. It is one of the body's quiet signals that sleep is approaching. Like a gentle lowering of the system's intensity. To lower core temperature, the body needs to release heat. And one of the main ways it does that is by increasing blood flow near the skin, especially in the hands and feet. Not because extremities are the most important parts, but because they are useful heat exchangers. If heat can leave the body efficiently, the internal temperature can drift downward. And that drift tends to support sleepiness. It makes the transition to sleep feel more natural. If heat cannot leave the body efficiently, the transition can feel harder. You may feel warm, restless, or slightly wired. Not because you are doing anything wrong, because the body is trying to cool down, and the environment is not helping. Now we come to the practical physics. How does heat actually leave your body at night? Mostly, in 3 gentle ways. First, heat moves from skin into the air and nearby surfaces. If the room is cooler than your skin, heat can flow outward. If the room is warm, there is less room for that heat to go. Second, air movement matters. Still air can act like a blanket. It holds a thin layer of warmth around you. Gentle airflow can carry that warmth away. Not as a dramatic draft. Just enough movement to refresh the air near your skin. Third, moisture changes everything. When sweat evaporates, it removes heat. But if humidity is high, evaporation slows down. And then you can feel sticky, warm, and uncomfortable. Even if the temperature number does not look extreme. This is where bedding becomes part of the system. Fabric can trap heat, or it can allow heat and moisture to escape. Some nights call for insulation. Other nights call for breathability. And most nights, the most comfortable setup is adjustable. Warm rooms can interfere with sleep in a few common ways. Not for everyone, every night. But often enough that the pattern is worth knowing. 1. the body struggles to offload heat. So the natural nighttime cooling is slowed. Instead of drifting down into sleep, you can feel like you are hovering near wakefulness. 2. Discomfort becomes a background signal. Not always conscious, but present. A subtle itch of heat. A need to move. A search for the cool side of the pillow. 3. Sweating can fragment sleep. You may fall asleep, but wake more easily. Or wake briefly to adjust blankets. Or wake with a dry mouth and a warm neck. Small interruptions that add up. And there is a psychological layer too. When you are too warm, the body can interpret it as a cue for activity. Like being under bright light. It becomes harder to feel sleepy in a deep, settled way. So the cool room is not a magic trick. It is just a supportive condition. A quiet cooperation between your environment and your biology. Now we move to the comforting part. Small adjustments that can make the night feel easier. Not a new identity. Not a perfect routine. Just a calmer setup. First, aim for cool, not cold. If you feel tense or shivery, that can be its own problem. The goal is a room that helps you release heat while your bedding keeps you comfortable. Second, use layers you can change without thinking. A lighter blanket plus a heavier one nearby. A sheet that breathes. A throw you can pull on and off easily. Cozy control, instead of midnight problem solving. Third, consider gentle airflow. A fan on low. A vent that is not blasting directly at you. A slightly open door if it helps circulation. Small movement can make the room feel calmer. Fourth, pay attention to what touches you. Breathable sleepwear. Sheets that do not trap moisture. A pillow that stays comfortable instead of holding heat around your face. These are quiet details, but they matter at 2 in the morning. Fifth, a warm shower can sometimes help you cool down afterward. Not because warmth is the goal, but because stepping out into cooler air can encourage heat loss. It is one gentle way to support the nighttime temperature shift. And finally, keep it kind. If you have persistent insomnia, night sweats, or a medical condition that affects temperature regulation, it can be worth talking with a clinician. But for many nights, the simplest help is environmental. A cooler room, breathable layers, and permission to stop optimizing. Now we can gather this into a few calm points. Nothing to memorize. Just a simple explanation you can keep in the background. Sleep is supported by a natural nighttime drop in core body temperature. And a cool room can help your body release heat so that drop can happen more easily. Buffering, in streaming, is a reservoir that smooths out an uneven flow. For sleep, the environment can be a similar kind of support. It reduces friction, It makes the transition steadier. Warm rooms can make sleep harder because heat is harder to shed. So the body stays slightly more alert. Not as a failure, as a signal. And now, we return to the quiet bedroom. The light is low. The air is a little cooler. The room is not trying to wake you up. You can let your body do what it already knows how to do. Release a little heat. Slow the system down. Let the night take the edges off the day. If your thoughts wander, that is fine. If you adjust a blanket, that is fine. The goal is not performance. The goal is ease. This has been Curious Nights. The calm science of temperature. Why cool rooms help sleep. And now, you can let the room be cool, and let the mind be quiet. Welcome to Curious Nights. This is a calm, adult-focused sleepy documentary. Tonight's topic is the science of sleepy light. Why warm light so often feels calming. Imagine a late library. The building is quiet. Most of the lamps are low. The air feels still. Pages turn softly, and the light is gentle. In the next little while, we'll move slowly through a few simple ideas. What warm light is. How your eyes pass light information to the brain. Why brightness and timing matter. And why a room lit warmly can feel like permission to rest. This is gentle education, not medical advice. You don't need to remember anything. If you feel yourself drifting, that is perfectly fine. And now, slowly, we'll begin with the light itself. In a library at night, the light often comes from small lamps. It pools on a tabletop. It softens the edges of a book. It makes the room feel smaller and safer. That feeling begins with physics, with the color of light. When people say a bulb is warm, they usually mean it looks slightly yellow, amber, or orange. When they say a bulb is cool, they mean it looks whiter, or a little blue. It is not about how hot the bulb feels. It is about the color the light appears to be. Lighting designers often describe this using color temperature. The unit is Kelvin. And the idea can sound backwards at first. Lower Kelvin light tends to look warmer. Higher Kelvin light tends to look cooler. A cozy lamp might be around 2200 to 2700 Kelvin. A brighter white indoor light might be around 4000 Kelvin. And daylight can be higher still, sometimes 5000 to 6500 Kelvin. You do not need to hold those numbers in mind. Just the gentle pattern. Warm light looks more like sunset. Cool light looks more like midday. Underneath that look is a spectrum. White light is a blend of many wavelengths. Some wavelengths lean toward red. Some lean toward blue. A warm lamp tends to have less blue in its mix. A cool, bright lamp tends to have more. This matters because your body does not treat every wavelength the same way. Some parts of your visual system are especially responsive to short wavelengths, the blue to blue-green region. That is where daylight is strong. So, when a light source is richer in blue, it can resemble the pattern your brain expects in the daytime. It can carry a quiet message. This is not evening. This is still active time. Warm light often carries a different message. Not because it is dim by definition. You can make warm light very bright. But in most homes and quiet places, warm light is used in a softer way. Smaller lamps. Lower brightness. Gentler shadows. So the color and the context often arrive together. There is another subtle element. Warm light tends to flatter surfaces. It makes wood look rich. It makes paper look creamy. It makes a room feel less clinical. That is partly psychology, which we will come to. But it begins with a physical shift in the light itself. In the late library, notice how the warm lamp does not fill every corner equally. It creates a small island of clarity. And it lets the rest of the room remain quiet. That pattern, bright center and soft edges, is restful for attention. Your eyes do not have to scan everything. Your mind does not have to hold the whole room. It can settle into one gentle pool of light. So this is our first core idea. Warm light is usually lower on the Kelvin scale. It tends to contain less blue. And it often arrives in a softer, more local way. In a moment, we will follow that light into the eye. And from the eye, into the brain's sense of time. In the same way a library has quiet rules, the body has quiet rhythms. One rhythm is the daily rise and fall of alertness. Another is the gentle opening of sleepiness in the evening. Light is one of the main signals that helps organize these rhythms. When light enters the eye, it supports vision. It helps you see words on a page. It helps you notice the texture of paper and the grain of a wooden desk. But light also does something else. It helps the brain decide what time it is. Inside the retina are the familiar helpers of sight. Rods and cones. They are specialists in forming an image. Edges. Color. Motion. But there is also a system that is less about images, and more about timing. Some retinal cells are designed to measure light for the body clock. They are called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. They contain a light-sensitive pigment called melanopsin. Melanopsin is especially responsive to blue-green light. The kind of light that is common in daylight, and in some bright white indoor lighting. When these cells detect bright, blue-rich light, they send signals to brain areas involved in circadian timing. Circadian simply means roughly daily. a repeating pattern that helps coordinate sleep, waking, and many internal processes. This is one reason light can feel energizing. It is not only visual, it is biological. In the evening, the brain often begins to allow a hormone called melatonin to rise. Melatonin is sometimes described as a darkness signal. Not because darkness is dramatic, but because darkness is information. It tells the body that night is arriving, that it may be time to soften activity, and to prepare for rest. Bright, blue-rich light in the evening can interfere with that timing signal. It can reduce or delay the natural rise of melatonin for some people. Warm light tends to contain less of the wavelengths that strongly drive the melanopsin system. So, especially when warm light is kept soft and modest, it can be less disruptive to that evening shift. This brings us to a second core idea. It is not only the color of light, it is also the brightness and the timing. A dim warm lamp and a bright warm studio light are not the same signal. The body clock is sensitive to intensity and to how long the light remains. In the late library, the lamps are not trying to imitate midday. They are simply making a small space usable. They let you read without turning the whole building into a bright daytime scene. That balance is often what feels soothing. Enough light to be comfortable. Not so much light that the body is told to be wide awake. There is a quiet elegance here. Your eyes are not just cameras. They are also messengers. They speak to the brain about the world outside. And they speak about the time of day. Warm light, used gently, often helps that message become softer. More like evening. More like rest. In the next chapter, we'll stay with this idea. We'll look at brightness, placement, and the modern habit of screens. Not with judgment, just with calm curiosity. Now we move from what light is to how it is used. Because the brain does not experience color temperature in isolation. It experiences the whole scene. Where the light comes from, how bright it is, and what the room is asking you to do. Overhead lighting tends to be efficient. It fills the room evenly. It reduces shadows. It makes it easy to see everything at once. And that can be useful in the daytime. But in the evening, that same even brightness can feel like the day is still in progress. Like the mind should keep scanning, keep organizing, keep working. A lamp, on the other hand, is local. It lights one area well, and it allows the rest of the room to be softer. This often feels relaxing for a simple reason. Attention can narrow. The world does not demand full alertness, only a small gentle focus. Brightness is a major part of the story. A very bright warm light can still feel activating. It can still tell the body that it is time to stay alert. But a modest, warm lamp can feel like a quiet transition. Not darkness, just softness. There is also the way light affects the eyes physically. Bright light tends to make pupils smaller. Dimmer light tends to allow pupils to open wider. This is not a problem to solve. It is simply part of how the visual system adapts. And in a dim, warm setting, the eyes are not fighting glare. They are not bracing against sharp brightness. They are simply receiving a gentle scene. Now, screens. Many evenings include them. A phone, a tablet, a television in the background. Screens can be bright. They can also be rich in the cooler part of the spectrum. And they are often close to the face. So even if a room is warmly lit, a screen can become its own little patch of daytime. Light is only one side of what screens do, though. The other side is attention. Fast movement. Messages. Choices. New information. That kind of stimulation can keep the mind active, even if the light were perfectly warm. So when warm light feels calming, part of it may be that it often comes with slower activities. Reading. Listening. Gentle conversation. Quiet routines. This is our third core idea. Warm light is most calming when it is part of an evening cue. Lower brightness. Local lamps. And activities that do not demand speed. Back in the late library, you can sense the cue. The lamps are not inviting productivity. They are inviting calm presence. In the next chapter, we'll explore the softer human layer. Why warm light feels safe and familiar. And how a room can quietly teach the body to relax. Science is often described as cold and bright. But the science of comfort is gentle. It includes psychology, memory, and the way the nervous system reads a room. Warm light resembles familiar natural scenes. Sunset, firelight, candlelight. For a long time, these were the lights of evening. They arrived when work slowed, when people gathered, when the outside world became quieter. So the brain can treat warm light as a familiar signal, not an instruction, just an association. Evening has begun. Cool, bright light has its own set of associations. Offices, shops, busy streets, places where the body stays a little more ready, places where attention is pulled outward, where the mind checks and counts and scans. So even when cool light is perfectly safe, it can feel less restful. It feels like a place where something might happen, where you should stay switched on. Warm light can also reduce the sense of harshness in a space. It lowers contrast. It softens edges. It makes shadows less sharp. When a room is softer, the eyes do less work. And when the eyes do less work, the mind often follows. it becomes easier to drift, easier to stop analyzing, easier to simply be. This is our fourth core idea. Warm light supports relaxation not only through biology, but through meaning. It feels like evening. It feels familiar. It feels like a softer chapter of the day. And now, a fifth core idea. The most calming light is often part of a consistent ritual. The same lamp. The same corner of the room. The same quiet activity. Over time, the brain learns patterns. It begins to predict what comes next. And prediction can be calming, because the nervous system likes the familiar. If, sometime, someone wanted a gentle evening atmosphere, there are a few simple principles. Not rules. Just ideas. Choose a warmer bulb for the late hours. Prefer a lamp to a bright overhead light. Keep brightness modest. And allow the room to have soft corners. Small changes can be enough. Because the goal is not perfection. The goal is ease. In the late library, the ritual is built in. A warm pool of light. A book that does not rush you. And the quiet sense that the day is winding down. Next, we'll gather everything into a calm recap. Nothing intense. Just a gentle summary. Now, softly, let's recap the shape of tonight's story. Warm light is often lower in color temperature. It appears more amber or golden. And it tends to contain less blue. Your eyes do more than form images. They also send timing information to the brain. A system involving melanopsin is especially responsive to blue-rich light. So bright, cool light in the evening can push the body toward daytime mode. Warm, modest light tends to be a softer signal. We also noticed that brightness and placement matter. Overhead lighting fills space and keeps attention broad. A small lamp creates a gentle island. It lets the rest of the room stay quiet. And finally, there is meaning. Warm light resembles sunset and firelight. It is linked with evening routines and safety. When it becomes part of a familiar ritual, the nervous system can begin to relax on cue. That is the science of sleepy light. And now, we can let the facts fade into the background. Like a library lamp turned low. Like a page slowly finishing its last paragraph. And now, we drift. The late library remains. Rows of books. Quiet tables. A few warm lamps, kept low. The light does not hurry. It rests on the page. It softens the room. It leaves the corners dim and unimportant. Warm light is a gentle signal. Not an instruction. Just a suggestion. Evening. Quiet. Rest. In time, the mind can stop checking. Stop organizing. Stop holding the day open. It can simply sit with the softness. Like a book left open, face down, to keep a place. If any thoughts remain, they can be distant. Like footsteps on another floor. Like a closing door far away. The warm lamp stays. Steady. Unhurried. This has been Curious Nights. A quiet documentary for sleep. And now, there is nothing else you need to do. Only the soft light. And the slow, simple feeling of night. Good night. Have you ever noticed how a quiet room can feel peaceful, and yet a little too empty? And then, the soft hum of a heater, or distant rain, suddenly makes everything feel settled. As if the space has exhaled. Tonight on Curious Nights, we are exploring why sound feels comforting. Quiet rooms, soft noise, and gentle acoustics. This is not a loud story. It is a slow, grown-up tour through the way the mind listens. And why certain soundscapes feel like safety. Our setting is a private listening room after hours. A comfortable chair. Low lamps. Thick curtains. A shelf of records and books, chosen carefully over time. In the background, the room has a faint, steady tone. Not silence. Just presence. You do not need to remember anything tonight. If you drift off, that is welcome. We will simply keep moving, quietly, through a few gentle ideas. To understand comfort in sound, it helps to begin with what hearing is for. Vision is something you can aim. You can look away. But hearing is more like an open door. It stays open, even when the lights are off. In a simple sense, the auditory system is built to notice change. A sudden new sound. A shift in rhythm. A footstep where there was none. This does not mean the mind is anxious. It means the mind is awake to patterns. And patterns are where comfort begins. When a sound is steady, the brain can predict it. It can place it in the background. It can decide, quietly, that nothing needs attention. Steady sounds become part of the room, like dim light or warm fabric. Silence can be beautiful, but it can also be demanding. In near silence, small noises stand out sharply. A floorboard. A distant car. The refrigerator cycling on. The mind may keep checking, simply because the contrast is high. Comforting sound is often the opposite of contrast. It is smooth. It reduces sharp edges. It creates a gentle baseline, so the environment feels consistent. Like a soft blanket, but for attention. In recording, there is a term for this baseline. Room tone. the quiet sound of a space simply being itself. Air moving, electricity humming faintly, distant life outside the walls. When room tone disappears completely, a scene can feel unnatural, almost too clean. So our first idea is simple. Sound can be comforting because it makes the world predictable. And predictability allows the mind to rest. In a moment, we will talk about a special kind of predictability, soft noise, and why it can feel like gentle protection. Now we come to soft noise. Not noise as irritation, noise as texture. A steady field of sound that fills in the gaps. One reason soft noise can feel comforting is something called masking. Masking happens when a gentle background sound makes other sounds less noticeable. Not by erasing them, but by reducing the contrast between sudden noises and the background. Sharp edges become softer. Think of it like lighting. In a pitch-dark room, a tiny LED can feel bright. In a softly lit room, the same LED feels less intense. Sound works in a similar way. A little background sound can make the environment feel smoother. Different kinds of noise have different textures. White noise is bright and even across many frequencies. Pink noise is often described as softer, with more weight in the lower range. Brown noise can feel deeper still, like a distant waterfall or heavy rain. These are not moral categories, just different fabrics. Nature offers its own gentle noise. Wind in leaves, rain on a window, waves repeating with patient rhythm. Many of these sounds are both complex and predictable. They vary, but they do not surprise. There is also something emotionally mature about steady sound. It does not demand a reaction. It does not ask you to perform. It simply keeps you company. Like a quiet city outside the window, reminding you that life is continuing at a safe distance. Of course, comfort is personal. Some people love a fan sound. Some prefer rain. Some prefer near silence with a single steady tone. The common thread is not the exact sound. It is the sense of steadiness. The mind can stop scanning for change. Next, we will look at the room itself. Why some rooms feel harsh and others feel soft. And how gentle acoustics can make sound feel like comfort, even when it is very quiet. Now we listen to the room. Not the furniture. Not the decor. The invisible shape the room gives to sound. Every room has a signature. When you speak, the sound reflects off walls, ceiling, and floor. Some reflections arrive quickly, like a gentle halo. Others linger and fade. This fading is what people usually mean by echo or reverberation. A very reflective room can sound bright and sharp. Hard surfaces bounce sound strongly. Glass, tile, bare walls. The result can feel alerting, even if the room is quiet. The space keeps talking back. A softer room absorbs more sound. Fabric curtains, carpet, upholstery, books. These materials reduce harsh reflections. The room feels calmer because it is acoustically calmer. There is another detail, quieter but important. Diffusion. When a room has varied surfaces, sound scatters instead of bouncing back in strong, clean lines. A room with shelves, angled objects, and texture can feel more comfortable than a perfect empty rectangle. The reflections become softer, less pointed. This is why certain places feel naturally soothing. A library reading room. A carpeted hotel corridor at night. A study with thick curtains and a chair that has been broken in over years. These spaces tend to have gentle acoustics. Sound is present, but not sharp. In our listening room, the curtains and the rug are not only visual choices. They shape the way silence feels. They make quiet feel soft instead of exposed. And that softness can be deeply comforting. Next, we will move from rooms to meaning. Because comfort is not only physics. It is memory, expectation, and the quiet emotional language carried in tone of voice. Now we come to the most human part of the story. Sound carries meaning, even when no words are spoken. A familiar sound can feel like belonging. The particular click of a door in your home. The kettle beginning to warm. Footsteps in a hallway that you recognize without thinking. These sounds can be comforting because they confirm a story the mind already trusts. This is the world I know. I am oriented. Music can do this too, but tonight we are staying simpler. Even a single steady rhythm can feel regulating. A train on distant tracks. Waves repeating their patient cycle. A ceiling fan turning at an even pace. Repetition is a quiet promise. The next moment will be like the last. Then there is the voice. Not the information in the words, but the shape of the sound. Soft volume. Slow pace. Gentle rhythm. Small pauses that do not rush you. This is one reason calm narration can feel safe. Comfort is also helped by smooth dynamics. When a soundscape stays within a narrow range, the mind does not brace for sudden peaks. Everything feels under control. Not controlled by force. Controlled by consistency. And sometimes, comfort comes from permission. A sound that says, you can stop trying. You can stop monitoring. You can let the edges blur. This is what soft noise and gentle rooms can offer. A background steady enough to hold you, without asking anything back. In a moment, we will recap the quiet mechanics: predictability, masking, room acoustics, and meaning. Simple pieces that fit together softly. Now we can gather everything into a few calm ideas. Just the shape of the explanation. Then we will let it fade. First, the auditory system is tuned for change. So steady, predictable sound can feel reassuring. It gives the mind less to monitor. Second, soft noise can mask sharper sounds. It reduces contrast, like gentle lighting in a room. And that smoothness can feel comforting. Third, different noise textures can feel different. Some are brighter. Some are deeper. The key is steadiness, not perfection. Fourth, rooms shape sound. Soft materials absorb harsh reflections. Textured rooms diffuse sound and feel less sharp. Acoustics can change how quiet feels. And fifth, sound carries meaning. Familiar soundscapes can feel like orientation and belonging. And a calm voice, with gentle pacing, can feel like permission to rest. And now, we let the listening room grow even quieter. The curtains hang heavy and still. The chair supports you without asking you to sit a certain way. The lamp light stays low and steady. In the background, there is room tone. A soft bass line. Air. Distance. Nothing urgent. Sound becomes less like information and more like atmosphere. A gentle texture around the edges of attention. Something the mind can stop evaluating. Something it can simply allow. If thoughts appear, they can drift through like distant traffic. Present. Unimportant. Already fading as they pass. This has been Curious Nights. Why sound feels comforting. Quiet rooms, soft noise, gentle acoustics. And now, you can let the night keep listening, so you do not have to. In the morning, simple choices feel simple. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first. But in the evening, the same choices can feel strangely heavy. Cooking feels complicated. Texting back feels like a task. Even deciding what to watch can feel like work. This is not laziness. And it is not a moral failure. It is often something very ordinary. Decision fatigue. Tonight on Curious Nights, decision fatigue. Why evenings feel harder, explained calmly. Our setting is a quiet home at the end of the day. A kitchen light. A phone face down on a table. And a mind that has already made hundreds of small choices. Decision fatigue is the name we give to a familiar pattern. After many choices, your brain becomes less willing to choose carefully. Not because it is broken, because it is tired. And the word decision here does not only mean big life choices. It includes tiny ones. Should I respond now or later? Do I add one more task? Do I cook or order? Should I go for a walk? Should I scroll a little more? Even resisting choices counts. Not buying the snack. Not checking the notification. Not saying yes to one more obligation. That is effort too. By evening, you may notice a few common outcomes. 1. You avoid decisions. You freeze. 2. You choose the default. Whatever is easiest. And 3. You choose impulsively. Not because you do not care, because the careful part of the mind wants to rest. This is the calm framing. Your brain has a limited budget for control, attention, and evaluation. You spend it all day. And in the evening, the budget is lower. So the same life feels harder. There are a few quiet forces that pile up by night. None of them are dramatic, but together, they matter. First, cognitive load. All day, you hold small plans in mind. Times, passwords, social tone, unfinished tasks. Even if nothing goes wrong, that holding costs effort. Second, switching. Your mind changes modes all day. Work mode, friend mode, errand mode, family mode. Every switch has a small cost. By evening, the costs add up. Third, stress. Even low-level stress makes decision-making noisier. It pulls attention toward what might go wrong. And it can make small choices feel higher stakes than they are. Fourth, sleep pressure. As the day goes on, the brain naturally becomes less sharp. Not in a catastrophic way. In a human way. Planning and self-control tend to get harder when you are tired. And finally, options. Evening is when the modern world offers you the most choices. Foods, shows, messages, purchases, opinions. So the mind gets tired, and then gets offered a buffet of decisions. No wonder it feels heavy. Some people describe decision fatigue as willpower running out. And as a metaphor, that can be useful. But it can also sound like you are failing a test. A calmer view is that self-control is a skill that depends on conditions. Attention, rest, stress level, how many choices you have already made, and how many choices are still waiting. So if the evening version of you makes different choices than the morning version of you, that is not hypocrisy. It is context. The brain is the same. The resources are different. This is also why just try harder often backfires at night. Trying harder is itself a decision, and it costs effort you may not have left. The better question is not, how do I force myself? It is, how do I make the right choice easier to choose? How do I reduce friction? And how do I protect my evenings from unnecessary decisions? Now we move to the comforting part. Small design choices that make evenings calmer. Not perfect. Just easier. 1. Decide earlier. If a decision is predictable, make it in the morning. What's for dinner? When you will stop working. Whether you will exercise. Even a rough plan reduces evening load. 2. Create defaults. A short list you can repeat without debate. 2 or 3 simple dinners. A short wind-down routine. A standard bedtime alarm. Defaults are not boring. They are restful. 3. Reduce options. Choice is helpful. Too much choice is exhausting. When you are tired, a smaller menu is kindness. 4. Use if-then plans. If I feel too tired to start, then I will do 5 minutes only. If I want to scroll, then I will put the phone on a charger across the room first. If I feel overwhelmed, then I will write down the next single step. These plans reduce decision-making in the moment. 5. Protect a clean ending. Evenings get harder when the day never closes. A short shutdown ritual can help. List what is done. List what is next. Then allow yourself to stop carrying it. 6. Feed and rest the system. Decision fatigue gets worse when you are hungry, dehydrated, or underslept. Sometimes the most rational choice is water, food, and an earlier night. And 7. Practice a gentle interpretation. If evenings feel hard for you often, it may mean your days are demanding. Not that you are weak. When the mind is tired, compassion is practical. Now we can gather this into a few quiet points. Nothing to memorize. Just enough to recognize the pattern. Decision fatigue is what happens when many choices and small acts of control add up. By evening, the same tasks can feel heavier. Evenings feel harder because of cognitive load, switching, stress, and simple tiredness. And because modern life offers more options than the mind wants to process at the end of the day. The kind solution is to reduce decisions. Use defaults. Decide earlier. Shrink the menu. And let routines carry you when you are tired. And now, we return to the quiet home at the end of the day. The lights are softer. The world is asking less of you. And you do not need to solve everything tonight. Some choices can wait until morning. Some choices do not matter. And some choices can become simple because you have decided them before. If your mind feels indecisive, let that be a signal, not a verdict. A signal to reduce the load, to soften the evening, to rest. This has been Curious Nights. Decision fatigue. Why evenings feel harder, explained calmly. And now, you can let the night make fewer demands. Some places feel comfortable the moment you enter. Your shoulders drop a little. Your attention softens. And you think, quietly, I could stay here. It might be a small cafe on a rainy evening. A living room with one lamp on. A chair near a window. Or a corner of your home that feels warmer than the rest. Cozy is not just a style. It is a feeling. And feelings have patterns. Tonight on Curious Nights, why we find certain places cozy. Light, texture, and space. Our setting is a quiet room at the end of the day. One warm lamp, a soft chair, and a calm question. What, exactly, makes a place feel safe enough to rest? When adults say a place is cozy, they are often describing a mix of signals. Signals that say, this space is friendly to the nervous system. It will not demand too much from you. It will not expose you. It will not overwhelm you. Cozy is not the same as expensive. And it is not the same as trendy. A space can be luxurious and still feel cold. And a simple room can feel deeply comforting. Cozy usually includes 3 quiet themes: softness, shelter, and control. Softness reduces friction. Shelter reduces exposure. And control reduces uncertainty. It can be as small as a lamp you can dim, a blanket within reach, a seat that lets you face the room instead of turning your back to it, or a corner that feels like it belongs to you for a while. Cozy is the opposite of being on display. It is the feeling that you are allowed to be unfinished. Allowed to slow down. Allowed to take up a small, comfortable amount of space. If you change only one thing in a room, light is often the fastest way to change the feeling. Because light changes how everything else is perceived. Edges, distances, textures, and mood. Many cozy places use warm light in the evening. Not harsh. Not blue-white. Warm light resembles firelight and sunset. It quietly signals, the day is ending. You can soften now. Brightness matters too. Cozy rarely means extremely bright. It means enough light to feel safe. but not so much that your brain feels like it should be performing. And then there is direction. Overhead lighting can feel exposing. It flattens the room. It removes shadow. And it can make the space feel like a workplace. Cozy lighting is often layered. A lamp near a chair. A smaller lamp across the room. A gentle pool of light on a wall. Not one bright source, but a few calm ones. Shadow is not the enemy. In a safe place, shadow creates depth. It reduces visual noise. And it tells your attention it does not need to scan everything at once. Texture is how a room feels without asking you to think. It is information for the hands, the skin, and the ears. And cozy spaces tend to offer textures that feel forgiving. Soft materials absorb sharpness. A fabric chair. A blanket. A rug. Even curtains. They don't just look soft. They change the acoustics. They reduce echo. They make the room feel quieter. Cozy is also often warm to the touch. Wood tends to feel warmer than metal. Fabric warmer than glass. Even if the temperature is technically the same, the experience can feel different. And experience is what the nervous system listens to. Texture works visually too. Knits. Grain. Matte surfaces. These often feel calmer than high-gloss, highly reflective surfaces. Because reflections create movement. And movement pulls attention. Even small textures matter. A mug that fits your hand. A sweater that feels familiar. A chair that does not demand perfect posture. Cozy often means your body is allowed to be human. Now we talk about space. Not square footage, but the feeling of space. How the room holds you. Many adults find coziness in a gentle form of enclosure. A corner seat. A reading nook. A chair with the wall behind it. Even a table that creates a boundary around your legs. It is not about being trapped. It is about being held. Part of this is an old preference. We tend to relax when we have refuge. And we can still see the space around us. A sheltered seat with a view. Safe and aware. Scale matters too. Extremely large spaces can feel impressive. But they can also feel impersonal. Cozy often means human scale. Objects within reach. Light where you need it. A place to put down a cup. A place to set down your thoughts. Clutter is a complicated one. Some clutter feels like life. Books. A folded throw. Small personal objects. But visual noise can be tiring. Cozy usually includes at least one area where your eyes can rest. One of the strongest ingredients in coziness is control. Not control over life. Just control over the immediate environment. Small choices that tell your brain you are allowed to settle. Being able to adjust light is a big one. Dimmer switches. Warm bulbs. A lamp you can turn on without thinking. It is comfort that feels immediate. Temperature is another. A cool room can feel clean and alert. A slightly warmer corner can feel like rest. Cozy is often local. A blanket, not a whole new climate. Sound matters too. Some people feel cozy with quiet. Some with steady background sound. Rain. A fan. Low music. The key is predictability. A sound that does not demand attention. And finally, permission. Adults often struggle to rest because rest can feel undeserved. Cozy spaces quietly argue back. They say, you can sit down. You can stop optimizing. You can just be here. Now we can gather this into a few calm points. Nothing to memorize. Just a gentle pattern you can recognize. Cozy is a feeling created by signals. Signals of softness, shelter, and control. When those signals are present, the nervous system relaxes. Light shapes coziness through warmth, brightness, and direction. Layered light and gentle shadow often feel calmer than a single bright ceiling light. Texture shapes coziness through touch and sound. Soft materials reduce echo. Matte, warm surfaces reduce visual sharpness. And familiar objects help the body feel at home. Space shapes coziness through scale and refuge. A sheltered seat, a calm corner, and a place for the eyes to rest can make even a small room feel kind. And now, we return to the quiet room. The lamp makes a small pool of light. The rest of the room stays soft around the edges. Nothing is asking you to be impressive. If you want, you can look around and notice one cozy detail. A texture. A shadow. A corner that feels a little safer than the middle. And if you are tired, you do not have to improve anything tonight. You can simply let the room hold you the way it is. Quietly. Gently. This has been Curious Nights. Why we find certain places cozy. Light, texture, and space. And now, you can let the night make a small, safe place for your mind to rest.